Hey, it's Bo, and welcome to today's Q&A. Today's question comes from Lou, and Lou says, how do you get past disappointments that prompt your depression into the rabbit hole? So how do you get over disappointments when maybe things don't go your way, things don't go how you want them to, you don't achieve your goals, or whatever? So first of all, we have to understand a basic mechanism of the human brain, or the mind, you could say. And this mechanism is basically the tendency to project outwards onto the world and give everything outside of ourselves a sense of importance. Like we need certain things in our lives in order to be happy. We have to achieve our goals or else we can't be fully happy. We have to be in a relationship or have a certain amount of money or have a certain amount of friends, or something has to happen to us, or we have to live in a certain place in order for us to be happy. In order for us to be good enough, we have to have all these things. And this mistaken assumption is what causes so much suffering in this world. It's because people are always striving, searching for happiness in all the wrong places. Everyone is seeking happiness where happiness does not exist. Happiness can only be found in this moment here, and the future never comes. So if you are disappointed because something didn't go your way, realize that it's not the fact that the thing didn't happen that's really causing your depression. What's causing your depression is the mistaken assumption that you need that thing to happen to you in order for you to feel happy. It's the projection of importance on that thing. You think that that thing is very important to you. So obviously, if you think something's very, very important to you, when you don't get that thing, you're going to feel depressed. Of course you are, because in your mind, you really think that that thing is something that you needed or you wanted it very badly. Okay, and a lot of people live like this. Almost all of us live like this. And I'm not saying that I don't live like this at times too, that I don't make this mistake also. But we have to escape this trap. We have to escape this trap of always thinking that our happiness lies in the future, because it doesn't. And our happiness doesn't lie in any material object or anything outside of ourselves. It really doesn't. So first of all, realize that it's not the fact that you didn't achieve your goal or something didn't happen to you. That's not what causes depression. And if the thing did happen, let's assume that you did get what you wanted. That's not the cause of your happiness either. And you might think that. People continually chase material objects, and they want fame or attention or love or whatever. And they continually chase these things, and yet they're never truly satisfied. Why is that? It's because when they achieve something, they feel happy for a while, but it's a temporary happiness. So it's not what I would really call happiness. It's what you might call pleasure or gratification. And so because when you achieve something you want and then you feel happy, in your mind, you believe that that thing was the cause of your happiness. But that's not really true. Just because you feel happy after you get something you want does not mean that it causes your happiness. It's correlated, but it's not caused. Okay? This is I don't know, I think they call this a cognitive bias. It's the tendency of the mind to believe that just because one thing happens and then you feel happy, your mind wants to connect the two and say that since this thing happened and then I was happy, then this thing must be the cause for my happiness. That's what the mind does. It's correlated, but it's not caused, because the reason you feel happy when you achieve what you want is not because you achieved what you wanted. It's because you let go of the desire for it. Desire, craving, this anxiety, always having these expectations, that is what causes suffering. Because as long as you desire something, you crave something, what you're really saying to yourself is that you need this thing in order to be fully happy and in order to be fully at peace. So if you're placing your sense of happiness in the future, then you can never be fully at peace in the present. So we have to see that it's not the things we want that are going to make us happy. It's being able to let go of wanting and craving and having so many expectations. It's not to say that we can't have goals for our lives, but we have to place less importance on the goals and prioritize how we're feeling and how we're experiencing life in the present moment. Because a happy life can only happen as a result of many happy moments. A life is made up of a series of an infinite amount of moments. And a happy day is made up of happy moments also. So everything that you want in your life, you want this happy life, right? We all just want happiness. That's really what we all want. That's what we're all striving for, is happiness and inner peace. But it's very obvious when you think about it, when you break it down, that to have a happy life, you have to have happy moments, right? And to have the happiest life imaginable, you would have to have every single moment of your life be a happy moment, right? It's very simple when you really break it down like that. So if you want all the happiness in the world, you have to prioritize every single individual moment in your life and make every single individual moment a happy moment, a pleasant moment. So how can you do that? Obviously, it's not by striving for things or achieving things, because you can't have a goal if you're living purely in the present moment. Because in the present moment, there is no future. So there's no future goal in your mind to strive for when you're in the present moment. So it's obvious then to see that goals and achieving goals is not the way to happiness. What's the way to happiness? To live in the present moment is the way. But how do you live fully in the present moment? To live fully in the present moment, you just have to be willing to experience everything you're experiencing right now, and to be able to process everything. So if you're feeling depressed, we have this idea that depression is like a bad thing, that depression is something that we shouldn't be feeling, or that if we're feeling depressed, we're somehow not good enough, and that we need to strive for happiness. But happiness is not some future thing. It doesn't happen in the future. It can only happen now. So is it possible to be happy while you're depressed? Is it possible to be happily depressed? Yes, in my experience it is. You just have to stop telling yourself this story that depression is bad and that you shouldn't experience it. And you have to be willing to just be fully with it. Close your eyes and feel what depression feels like. Stop fighting it. Stop resisting it. Just be with your depression, and what you'll find is that you can be happily depressed. And when you fully experience it, you come out of it and you feel more joyful. Because the reason we continue to experience these negative emotions is because we're always striving to escape our emotions. And we're always trying to escape them by striving for more stuff that we think we need in the future. So, first of all, just give yourself permission to feel depressed. Allow yourself to feel it and be okay with it. It's fine. It's not bad. It's not anything that you think it is. Depression is just depression, and it's not even depression because that's just the label that you put on it. It's just a feeling. So just experience it. It's just a feeling. It's just like happiness, really. Depression and happiness, they're both emotional experiences. But when you are able to be with your emotions and process them fully, you'll realize that true inner peace is not an emotion. It's not really an emotion that you're seeking. You really don't, no one really enjoys these ups and downs of life, these highs and lows, this pleasure and disappointment, this cycle, this constant cycle of pleasure, getting what we want, disappointment, not having what we want. And there's always something else we want. And so we're in this constant cycle of pleasure and disappointment. So to escape that vicious cycle, you have to come into the moment, process your feelings, be with them, stop labeling them, stop judging them, stop judging yourself, stop feeling sorry for yourself, and just love what is. Even if it's depression, love your depression and just be willing to feel it. And then when you continue to do that on a regular basis, every single day, whenever you're feeling any emotion, be willing to be with it, whether it's what you would call a negative emotion or a positive emotion. Be able to experience it fully, and that experiencing of the emotion releases it. It allows the energy to dissipate. As long as you're trying to escape your emotions and always striving for something different than what is, then you're not processing the emotions, and so they're going to stay with you. But if you can get to this place of radical oneness with everything you feel, you're going to release all your emotions, the positive and the negative. And what happens when you release the positive and the negative? When you let go of all of it? That's when you find peace. That's when you've reached this place where you can just be perfectly at peace in all situations. That's when you've let go of all your attachments and aversions and ideas about the future and that you need certain things in your life to be at peace. But it's obvious you don't, because life is just this moment. So if you can't be at peace in this moment, if you can't learn how to get to that place in this moment, then you're never going to have a peaceful life, because the life is just now. Life is always now. That's all it can be. That's all it ever will be. So prioritize the now. That is how you find really everything you want in life. Everything you want is really already here right now. In this exact moment right now is everything you've ever wanted. You don't have to wait for it. You can have it right now. Much love. I'll talk to you soon.